Natasha Phiri has been watching developments throughout much of the morning, and in fact, she is with us once again from the floor here at the Nasrec Expo Center. And Natasha, because things ran so late yesterday, it's almost dead quiet here at the Expo.
Definitely, Ayanda, but what we can see right now are some delegates actually making their way into plenary. And now we're joined by Sinawo Tambo, who was also elected as a Central Command team member. Remember, there was that constitutional amendment to expand the Central Command team from 40 people to 60 people, of which half of those are actually female. But let's just take this conversation to him. So now, thank you so much for joining us, and congratulations for being elected as a CCT member. I think first and foremost, your reaction to the newly appointed leadership.
Thank you very much, and greetings to your viewers. I think it was a peaceful and coherent election process from the officials up until the last additional member. So 66 people were elected without any incident of violence or any incident where there was contestation in a manner that was disrespectful or served purposes of humiliation. And that level of dignity with which the EFF ran that process, headed by an independent electoral committee, which was led by Advocate Toby, I think it demonstrates our commitment to internal democracy and discipline as well. So we brought in external people to help us manage that process, to show that it is not tainted or doubted. And if there's any disputes, those can be raised to people that, if people feel intimidated, they can raise them to a neutral body. And I think it went well, it was peaceful, and we are happy that we've been able to resolve on that leadership question and close a chapter of the Second National People's Assembly of Leadership, and now start a new path.
So now there's also some criticism from some quarters. People are saying, or people are wondering, that it appears that, there's a synchronized, predetermined result of the actual leadership. What do you say to that?
I think it's misguided and misinformed. So just because delegates and regions and provinces of the EFF had an interaction, whether it be through lobbying or agreement of who must be elected where, does not make it predetermined. I can tell you for a fact that there were robust debates amongst provinces and the regions of the EFF on who must be elected and why they must be elected and whether they are fit for purpose. And just because this was not open to public knowledge and was not as chaotic as we see in other political parties, doesn't mean there wasn't internal, robust, democratic debate around who should be elected. Consensus was reached to avoid the humiliation of the organization at a moment at which we are, of course, suffering some high levels of sabotage and infiltration and uncertainty, which the president spoke to in his political report. So the fact that the structures of the EFF appreciated the moment in which we're in and understood that there needs to be a presentation of unity, of discipline, of stability in the EFF, and reached consensus on the leadership question, even though they were fiercely disagreeing at many points up until the last moment, shows that our members understand the task at hand and that they are defending the revolution appropriately.
Talking about the challenges that the EFF face, is this current crop of leadership, do you think that they could bring stability to the party? Do you think that they've got the necessary skills to actually take the EFF back to its former glory, for some better lack of words?
Look, I think so. It's a mixture of many generations, the young and the old, those who are coming from the student movement of the EFF, those who have been ground forces of the EFF since its formation, founders, and those who have found us along the way, and those who have exhibited their commitment either in governance or on the ground or during electoral processes, and have proven themselves, perhaps most recently in the 2024 elections as well, as being dependable to serve the movement. So it's a mixture of experience, it's a mixture of youth, it's a mixture of people who have been in governance space, and we need a mixture of all of that, of all of those capabilities in order to be able to grow the movement and stabilize it. And I think that mixture is a good recipe to ensure that the EFF gets back on the right track of the growth trajectory.
Talking about the constitutional amendments, we mentioned this before. So as delegates, you've agreed that for the expansion of the CCT from 40 to 60 members, then including the top six, which makes it 66. But on other issues, the contentious issue of the student command, growing your regions, growing your base on the ground, doing away with regions and introducing sub-regions, where are delegates standing on the matter?
Look, there was a debate on it after the political report by the president, but now there's going to be submissions in all of the commissions which we are going into now as to what is the popular view with regards to the doing away with regions, which the assessment which is made is that they are not fit for purpose and they are a design of organization we inherited from the former liberation movement, which is not assisting us. And of course, the constituting of a youth command to expand our reach into the youth sphere, which is currently only limited to the student populace. So that those debates are going to happen in the commissions, and the reports are going to come back, and there's going to have to be popular consensus as to what is the way forward in that regard. So there's no resolution outside of the expansion of the CCT which has been made in the constitutional level.
I'm talking about the logistics of today. So you're starting right now. What time are you expected to finish? There needs to be that declaration of the NPA. Is there going to be a possible media engagement with the newly elected leadership and members of the media? And furthermore, what time is the leader, Mr. Malema, expected to address delegates and close the conference?
Look, we're going to go into commissions now for approximately about 2 hours, and then there'll be a process of reporting back by rapporteurs who are chairing those commissions as to what was discussed, what was noted, and what are the proposed resolutions as to what must happen in going forward in the growth of our movement and the growth of our country. After those presentations, there'll be the declaration of the National People's Assembly by the Secretary General, and then the closing remarks by the President. We hope by this afternoon we'll have concluded so that delegates can travel home safely and make it home in time.
Mrs. Sinawo Tambo, thank you so much for your time, and also just seeking to clarify the Ayanda and our viewers just the running order of the day. Of course, you could see various delegates just trickling in to plenary, and of course we expect that the program will be starting in a couple of minutes from now on. Of course, we will attempt to speak to various leaders throughout the course of the morning. Ayanda, it's back to you.
All right, Natasha Phiri, thanks very much indeed. Live to us there from the floor of the plenary. And as you can see, the pace only just about starting to pick up now, given the developments that went late into the evening yesterday.